Good afternoon, everybody. I'm happy to be with you here with virtual Bahrain. It was a very exciting 2 days. I thank everybody who participated with us as speakers, as delegates, as exhibitors, as sponsors. You all have definitely contributed positively to this event. The final session we have today is the closing remarks of the conference. I have with me here Dr. Nasser Fuad. He is on the board of directors, Faculty of Computer Science and Information Technology in Cairo University. He is also part of the advisory council of the Arab ICT Union, and he is a very good friend of Bahrain. He attends most of our ICT events, and he's been very supportive in the past, and he's still supportive to us. So we really welcome him here on board. With Dr. Nasser Fuad, we have Mr. Abedli Abedli, the chairman of Bahrain Technology Company Society, and also the chairman of the Arab ICT Union. Is also, we consider him our godfather of ICT in Bahrain, and we depend on him. Excuse him, he is in a busy place, so he's trying to focus with us on the closing ceremony. So we welcome also Abedli Abedli. Dr. Nasser, the floor is yours. Please give us the recommendations and the summary and the closing remarks of Virtual Bahrain 2020. The floor is yours.
First of all, thank you so much for your introduction, and I would like, as always, to say in the IT sector, we don't have that much what Bahrain is really the big brother in the Arab Arab area, actually, or Arab countries for the IT and also for e-government, for a lot of things. And we all know you are the leading Arab country in the e-government. Also, it's very difficult and it's so hard to speak in the closing session for one of the events you wanted to be continued for days and days and days and days, because it was very, very good, excellent actually. We had in our Bahrain virtual conference had more than 35 speakers from different countries. Also, we had 9 ladies experts, which is very good. We have the second session. The topics was government, e-government, education, health, banking, news and media. Most of the topics, which is very nowadays. Due to what happened starting last March, when everything shutting and closing, IT is becoming a major player in the countries. In my country, Egypt, we had a very good, successful story for the education. Now, I think it's the solution for IT. Virtuality is the solution for a lot of problems. We have a big problem for the number of students in schools. We have 21,000 classes yearly for the population or patient, but with the online and the virtual education, and I think it will solve everything. I think because of the success you made in the event, the first recommendation should be annual event and should be scheduled, and I think it's not for only, it's for the Arab region. The second thing, I think both of the because the role you are taking, or the union, the Arab Union, which is hosted in Bahrain, is right now. I think we have to put it our agenda, and we have to announce it to everyone. And I think Mr. Ali and you will have more to say. And I talked for a lot. I might talk again, and I think the floor is yours now, Mr. Abedi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hijeri, for chairing the sessions, and thank you very much, Dr. Nasser. To start with, though I'm older than Dr. Nasser, but he's my mentor when it comes to IT and all this virtuality. So, I mean, he said that Bahrain is a big country. I would say Cairo is in our heart. To wrap up this conference, I think we would say that, first of all, it was a good initiative, and in terms of moving concretely from traditional into virtual. We have very successful precedent when it comes to events traditionally, but now I felt that it was a very successful virtual event. So that means we are moving in the trend. And unfortunately, I have to say, thanks to COVID-19, that forced us to have this successful, fast, quick movement. Number two, I think that the conference was, the virtual conference or meeting was successful in putting together in one session both the private and the public sector, as well as some NGOs like the UNDP, plus people who are involved in the industry, which is Microsoft. Number two, I think that if you look through or go through the agenda, you can see that the main, let's say, channels or the main activities needs more than anything else this kind of activities, which is health, education, training, and are addressed in this event. Fourth, I think the selection of the whether speakers or participants are not only those who talk about virtuality and their need for the virtual way, but people who are practicing it. We have, for example, Dr. Brahim Nawahi from the health sector. We have Mr. His Excellency Mohammed Al-Qaid from the e-government. We have people from the, for example, from the security. And I think every one of them have addressed his or her, let's say, specialties in a very successful way. I think one of the recommendations that we should repeat this. Number two, we should move it from a local, which is Bahrain, into regional, which is Arab, and then international. Number three, I think we should plan the topics beforehand. I mean, at least that was really a very good initiative taken by both BTEC and WorkSmart in a very short period. But we should plan, for example, no matter, even if we go back to normal without COVID-19, we should repeat these events, because I think the trend is moving from the traditional to the virtual. So at least we should have one virtual, even if the life goes back to normal. Number four, I think there has to be a very solid, concrete cooperation between the domestic or the local NGOs in the ICT, Bahrain, Egypt, Jordan, who are members of the Arab ICT Union. And these should be headed by Arab ICT Union, and we should have one organized by Arab ICT Union. Maybe in November, if things move in a positive direction, I think, though we'll have the traditional or classical event, we should have a virtual event parallel to it during Cairo event, as you mentioned, Dr. Nasser. I hope I covered everything, and the floor is yours if you want to add anything.
If you allow me, thank you both Dr. Nasser and Mr. Abedli. I think that summarizes the event closing. The team will be finalizing a more detailed report that we'll share with everybody, so that because we need to extract some recommendations out from each session, and that is something that we usually normally do. But the recommendation, yes, we will. The thing we will document is that we will repeat the event, but not in the same way, in a better way, of course, and in a more global way. That's something that will definitely happen. I would like to stress that one of the elements of the event that we were happy with UNDP is the commissioning of a study of how technology and digitalization helped the Bahrain economy and people to go through this pandemic more smoothly. The study is being prepared, and everybody from the delegates, the speakers, the organizers will be approached for more information. But there is a consensus on this. We asked this question to each panel in the 7 sessions of the event. All of them agreed that digital had a major impact in easing it, and Bahrain was ahead of many countries that were not ready digitally, whether it's related to e-government or banking sector or the private sector. So definitely that's an advantage that will be keeping also into our mind. And again, I want to keep everybody informed that this portal or the will be open for a period of 3 months, where you can still access the conference material, the presentations, and you will be able to, if you did not have time during the last 2 days, you still have this opportunity. Dr. Nasser, do you have something to add?
Actually, I want you to keep doing game with the speakers, mixing with the academia, top notch of the experts in the world, where the top profession in the Arab world was very good. We had 500 registered people the conference or for the virtual conference, and the total number of the attendance for the all sessions was about 3,000, which is very good. Excellent. Thank you so much for what you did. And please, I know that's very hard what I'm doing, because you reach the top of the mountain, and it's very hard to stay there. What you are doing is excellent. Arabic دايما بيقولوا أنا شي مجروحة عشان بكم، لكن هذه هي الحقيقة. If we go back to the United Nations ranking, Bahrain is the first in the Arab world. Abedli is not that always يعني you are always ملهم لنا يا عبيدلي.
الله يخليك، ألف شكر.
Thank you so much. وأتمنى أن يعني hope next time we'll be together in Bahrain in my lovely country Bahrain. Thank you so much.
Inshallah. One final thing is that I would like to thank the organizing team who worked very hard. Actually, the challenge this time is to how to run a virtual event was a new experience for BTech, for WorkSmart, and actually this helped us create what we called a studio for virtual event that's successful. And I can turn the screen now and share with you the team that is working to, you'll all appear. I can see. Okay.